ne bukya n'owulira noono naye yakifunye n'oli yakifunye kiki ekyo? Cancer and amongst young people, and then we hear HIV is back. It's like it was going down, I think that it's coming up. And one of the reasons given, when we listen to news, that abantu through vying for jobs, people are told, if you want to give you a job, I must sleep with you, Though for me, I see a gap, which is not captured very well. We had a time where children would get HIV from parents. It took time for that mitigation to be totally dealt with. So these children who got HIV at birth have grown up. And when they say the youth are getting HIV, we need to segregate. Are they the ones who are born with the problem? So to me, I see there is a gap there. And sometimes when messages are being given out, people say, how HIV is propagated. You all know. But some people were born with the problem. And you know what happens? They get angry. It's like, so it's a gap. But we can address it even from the homes we come from. We are related to homes where somebody was born with a problem. For me, I'm in schools on boards, and some young people share with me, we feel so angry. We are being told of something we don't know. So Mananga, tell some of us, those are our leaders saying, you people, you know how HIV is got, but this person has even never been with a partner or anything, and he's being told, you know how it comes about. So Kati, issues making headlines, cancer used to be for the aging, now the young ones. So it makes us ask ourselves, what are the propagators? Of course, medication. Some people have so many types of medicines. And I'm a board member NDA. I know the issue of medicines. It's an open market here in Uganda. All medicines come in, and we have counterfeits, even though there is policing counterfeits. Those are medicines that are not to standard, and they can also propagate cancer. Chemicals through food can cause cancer. Even the perfumes we use, if you go for cheap perfume, you never know, cancer can hit you there. The paint we use in our houses, as long as we're talking of chemicals, there are people who use recycled bottles. A bottle had some agricultural acaricides, and it looks nice. You pick it, you wash it, and they put juice. The buses are going up country, and of course the bus stops and these people come. All those things can cause cancer. Worries. Some of us really, really enjoy worrying. Have you met people who enjoy worrying? You haven't. And when you see them, run away from them. There are people who enjoy worrying, In Uganda here, the culture propagates worrying. You meet somebody, ask, hey, how are the children? If you say the children are fine, I'm fine, the person will be offended. They will run away saying, they want you to say the children are sick. That's the most they want. I'm telling you. And people learn by seeing. We've grown up seeing this is how people behave. People go out of church and the boss is, people are sick. You're from church. Why have you been to church? So the subconscious picks up those things, and they're the ones you dream about. And of course, when you get those scary dreams, you can't have enough sleep. Meanwhile, if you want to be healthy, it's not only herbal medicine. It's not only food, like we've eaten so nicely today. But you go and fail to sleep because you put a TV in your bedroom, because you want to see all the films there, whatever, And if even you go and start, you are the person who you always look out for the negative amongst your friends, rumor mongering and what. I'm telling you, health should be a balance between physical, emotional, mental, social, and financial. You must wish others well. You should ensure you get enough sleep. You should ensure, what have you eaten? The choices were there. You should pick for a reason, for a reason. Buffets are good because they confirm one thing, that we are all not made the same. It's not like the medicine where they say, Panadol, one jacket for everybody. Uganda recently hosted an international conference by International Association of Pharmacologists globally. Uganda hosted it. It was African chapter. NDA was the host. I'm a board member. So I got that opportunity of attending that great conference where focus was on safety. And there was a lot discussed on vaccines, most especially those that featured under the pandemic. Yes, most of them were expedited because it was a pandemic. That can happen, when people are dying. But then adverse events are expected. It's really, people are dying, you see? So they are given this intervention, but of course, expecting those things to happen, but not knowing to who. So now this conference was about sharing from different parts of the world reports of that nature. And the issue of reporting on an adverse event has not been so much a culture, more still in Africa. We've not been having systems of reporting. And even if we had them, you remember you go to a doctor, you pay consultation, you get this medication. Now going back to reports, you may still need to pay consultation. I know NDA has introduced a system of reporting, but it's been silent for the past few years. And with this conference coming here in Uganda, it's like now it's coming out to be visible. And I'm now communicating that if you take a medication and you get any unwanted reaction, please at least go to NDA. Normally they give a toll-free line and reports. That reporting, we resolved in that conference that it's not to be taken for granted. They could even come back to you to see what to do to address the issue. And so the issue of those unwanted reactions, they were expected, but they need to be reported so that we get to know what exactly happened in Uganda. Because if they're not reported, people may think, like they were thinking in Uganda there was no COVID, they might even think, but Ugandans never reacted. So now there are those forms out there, they're given to health facilities, pharmacovigilance, that is follow-up of medicine when it's out there. And we ended up seeing that with the AI, artificial intelligence, it's time now for mapping genes in Africa. Yes, we are Ugandans here, you may even be coming from the same region, but we are different. What works on you may not work on me because of the different genetic variations. And the country needs to invest in artificial intelligence to ensure that we have those scientists. Actually, we even have to have them trained, those who can really give us value regarding what are those, how come this medication worked on this one this way and the other one reacted differently, and who is to take us forward through that? The Generation Z, those young ones whom you may look down upon because they have a hole in the gene, they have a pin in the nose. Gen Z, those that are rioting elsewhere, we can engage them in AI because they're quick learners and they've been born in this era. Yeah, and so I think you get me. We want to go into an area of personalized medicine. That was synthetic, but now, I remember in that forum, I raised an issue there, what of herbal medicine? And I was told in that ISO, it's ISO chapter, herbal is a special group. I think a conference that is focused on herbal would also be different. But the good news, on the 31st of August, we are going to celebrate African Traditional Medicine Day, the 22nd one here in Uganda. And not Uganda, it's Africa, but Uganda, we're going to celebrate it. And the theme is on safety of traditional medicine. Safety. I made sure, even if there was rioting in Nakawa, I would have made my way here to make sure you nature lovers, you know these new things coming in, so that you participate. We get your ideas, you see? So all of you here now, you are informed. And I'm going to give information on the platform. We've built a concept note. We have our event organizer, Dr. Manager Dan, stand up for recognition. So please don't miss, because you hear it's 22nd celebration. One would wonder, who had heard of African Traditional Medicine Day here? We started in 2003. You know, you say African Traditional Medicine Day, before you finish, they say, logo. I don't expect you to cut short the thinking in your brain. Natural products and traditional medicine, that's the language of WHO. If you say you don't want it, then even nature healing is not going to be promoted. Government will look at traditional medicine because that's what WHO sponsoring that in countries, that's the language. We need to know what language to use and when. You want to say herbal, you want to say, call it supplement. If you don't recognize the word traditional medicine, you've lost it. So Banange, thank you for being extraordinary Ugandans seated here. You are carrying Ugandans out there, they don't know they have a think tank here. And I'm so happy and so proud of all of you. Because people who don't know nature, who don't want even to know. But COVID yatulagako. Every country was put on its knees. Some of us who were tasked by the president to do something for you, Banange, we went through pressure. Every day you told the roads and they were all empty. Everybody's under lockdown. And you see these markets with food, but empty, no buyers. And you ask God, you mean you've anointed me to be one of those to look for solution? And would look and religiously every Saturday, the president calls, my daughter, where are we now? Where are we now? You know, I would sit after supper at home, everybody goes to sleep, Nambatya starts working. Banange, we worked. And we have a president who loves the country, no? So, when I see this platform, I see those tentacles continuing. And what I said to myself, I must get in there and keep them informed of what's happening. So I've told you of that international conference that's just been here in Munyonyo to address issues, safety from anything called medicine. And there are lots of young researchers, research coming out of Mulago telling us results. This is why this, and now the coming one, traditional medicine. So, expectations. I know some of the expectations you have. I may not have been here in the morning because we had a board meeting, NDA. Prevention and management of health conditions, including cancer, diabetes, hypertension, stroke, and knowledge sharing. I believe you've been, I hope when you are serving food, you asked about some of the shawe. Who ate shawe? You always eat it. Have you ever bothered to know, why do you eat it? Let me ask Madam here. Why do you eat shawe? Then you have reason to buy it, you know, and you teach your children as well. Because we have a challenge. I believe you're taking note of KFC all over. And KFC is not bad. I also enjoy KFC, but I enjoy it once a month. And I know what to do. It's really, they say, what do they call it? There is an advert they use. Finger licking. It is really finger licking. I even lick my fingers when I eat it. But knowledge is good. Yes, I know it has wheat. I think they've used wheat to coat it. And most of this wheat is maybe genetically modified wheat, because man had to devise means of producing foods in bulk as populations were exploding. And they devised means of having the wheat strains that yield heavily. But of course, the wheat also breaks down quickly into sugar, and we get challenges of high sugar and diabetes. There used to be that wheat long ago that would not be metabolized that way. And with some small communities in here, like Indians, when you go to an Indian restaurant and you eat naan, you enjoy it, but the wheat is also healthy. And naan will always be where Indians are because people go with their food wherever they've gone. So you need to ask yourself, why do these people stick to this one? What is so special? Spelt. There's what are they? Spelt, wheat spelt bread when you go to Brood. You know Brood? Those pockets, these are small outlets of bread with chachu. They have, and that's the bread for us to invest in. A loaf costs 10,000 or 12,000, and the other loaves cost 5,000, 4,000, and you know, at a certain age, you need to think of what you're putting in your system. And out of the money you make, what goes in you is what is yours. So why don't you invest in that nice? At first, it's not tasty, but eventually you pick that taste, and next you cannot get away from it. It's chachu bread. Here we call it German bread. That bread. People who eat bread a lot cannot afford to eat the bread we are eating here because it has been ripped of fiber. But we endeavor to give our pigs and whatever, we know what is good for them. Yeah, so those things, talking about them because food is the first medicine before you declared having a challenge. Because the moment you are told you have a tumor, forget the herbal. It's too late. The herbal, you will only use it to complement. We have to be realistic. Like in Uganda, I said to utekola konjawulo. Herbal tumwagala nnyo, but we need to know when should I use herbal. Herbal, liva ddagala, yes, nga bw'omuwulira naye nga it's not made to work very fast. You need to know maybe if you are to use it, it should be at the very first stage, you've just known the problem. But if the problem ekuze, you're having a tumor, unfortunately, you may have to go for the harsh conditions, but complement to cleanse and wash, because mostly herbal does the cleansing, the washing. We need to know when do we use that. So I want to encourage you to appreciate the new landscape enabling formulation of natural therapeutics in Uganda. For a long time since independence, the landscape we've been having for formulation, I know people have been knowing, you go to natural chemotherapeutics, take your sample there, for a long time. But natural chemotherapeutics did not have a lot in terms of infrastructure, and it was like most of the managers in the health sector were trained to be like the bazungu. So natural chemotherapeutics mostly was to whom it may concern, apart from the head of state who knew our value, but he doesn't work alone, even if he knew there is parliament and other organs to work with, but he endeavored. So it was like that, and we missed out on so many things. We missed out on having an act of parliament on traditional and complementary medicine, because by having that act, there would be a council for professionals, and that council would have committees, a committee on research. You don't walk into the country and just research on what you want, but that's what's been happening. People walk in as tourists, they research, they go, they make medicine, they come back, they sell it to us. And it's been going on like that. There would be committees to optimize training, yeah? But you find things have just been happening the way they want. Our traditional healers would get frustrated, but as nationals, as other nationals, they get friends overseas. A Mzungu comes here from France and takes away all the prunus trees. And before you know, prunus so useful, but it's an endangered species. Yeah, you go to areas in Uganda here, people before they go to Dubai or Arab or whatever, encourage people to first know what Uganda is. Uganda has diversity. Uganda has diversity. Go to Chisoro. We have a project there working with the pygmies. The thick forests are still there. because, people, where they go a lot, wherever they've cut all the trees. Maybe the Kisoro people should be happy people have not, they may, but Kavale, I think something like 5 years ago I went to Kavale. It was always called the Switzerland of Africa, but you go to Kavale now. They have cut all the trees. They've put Kalitunsi, and you look at this steep hill, and you wonder somebody went there, over Yalinga, Yesu, just to plant eucalyptus. Eh? And the next thing, the soil is now easy to erode. Nayenga vino indicate just knowledge gaps. That's why you should clap for Linda for creating this platform. I'm telling you, because it's a platform that's healthy. The herbalists have had their associations. Still, people stigmatize them, Nti abalogo omukulu ono office jalimu nkulu nye Nakotha ebaddewo for a long time. Naye the former leaders, people are always just fighting, Associations, Banangi, the singer. If you could see wounds on me, associations have fought me. But I thank God that I took on this office. I'm one of the few people who take on an office where my calling is also lined up. You may come and tell me what, but calling, discover your calling. For me, I'm not like 8 to 5, I have to rush home. No, I'm on duty full time. And when I find you are fighting me, I just get to know there is a gap there. We still need to learn. People, because we've wasted time. And in Africa, Uganda stands very unique in terms of biodiversity. Even our neighbor Kenya doesn't have what we have here. Even though people have destroyed trees, still Uganda stands out. But I'm happy there is an effort through Rotary and other forces to make people plant again. People go to Kwanjula and they need to take a tree, So small things, if you read Atomic Habits, don't worry. Do the small things before you know something will be big, yeah? So the new landscape now, it's no longer like come to National Chemical. No, you can even come here where we are seated, Uganda Industrial Research Institute. You get services to support you in terms of incubating you to do the formulation eventually. There is science, technology, and innovation. Madam Brenda has explained to you. There is funding to be competed for. There is government analytical labs to check on contamination, because you might find very good parking, but my dear, when it's full of E. coli. These days, there is somebody saying, Bananga, I've gone a step higher. I'm no longer trending powders. I'm putting in capsules. Bananga fear the capsules. Do you know if you took mold, the way people dry coffee, the chickens are there dumping in something, and if you go to market and find moringa being sold or hibiscus, open the leaves, there is mold. Now this is what is going to be crushed and put in capsules, of course, and by the time somebody's talking on TV, capsules, those are the who is who in the herbal sector. Those who have the money. So you look and say, Wananga, the next epidemic you're going to see ulcers. And you'd wonder, where are they from? Now, if we have a platform where we're educating each other, and of course, we see it and we are part of regulators, but you go carefully, you may be misunderstood. So it's things like that. Let's question ourselves. When capsules, don't just get so excited. Because for me, if you said natural medicine, I would like to have it as soup, as tea. We've swallowed those things for too long. What's wrong with us? Either you're bringing the capsules, the tablets, because now those tablets, if they're not well moderated, you can take it in and it sticks somewhere and it punches a hole there. Because if I use cassava powder, but cassava is so hard, it will get in there and it fails to disintegrate. Yeah? So let's really have questioning minds. It's not shameful to say, I don't know. We're all learning. At another thing, like I've shown you a product, they are notified by NDA. The challenge we are having at the moment, yes, NDA may notify a product, but we don't as yet have capacity to follow that the standard you presented today. It's the same one. It's another step we shall reach there. Kati ekyo nakyo. For you formulating, take it upon yourself to do the right thing in the light of ensuring that safety is paramount in the medicines we are using. Yeah? So the rigors are there. Things are not easy because we slept for too long since independence, and it's only COVID that woke us up. Let me switch off this phone. Let me have the bag, black bag. Sorry. Yeah, so there are other labs which have come on board. Universities have been empowered, like Bustema, Bara University. Because it's coming on board, Gulu is empowered. In case you come from near those, you can get in there. You will always end up where you're supposed to be. STI, Science, Technology and Innovation, is doing a lot, and I had a chance to head or to be a principal investigator of the first ever clinical trial on a natural therapy, which natural therapy was coming from Kabalore district. Bees, you know bees, they have a lot of role in fighting viral infections. I headed a team which had about 45 medical doctors and other scientists. Our research, we protected it a lot from going to media prematurely. That's why you didn't hear of it. Even up to now, we are still getting through channels the way it should be. But of course, it was a pandemic. You had what you had. But now, because our research proved one thing, that it's possible to validate a natural product, is the reason why government went ahead to put up a clinical trial center, which is now in Mulago under Lang Institute. It's still funded under Office of the President, and currently we have formulations like Covidex, Kazire products, and others being taken through. So Uganda, that was a big step. I'm surprised we're not clapping for that. But no. Nature lovers, that was great. You have your formulation, you have testimonies of people telling you it has helped me. Please come, you can come to us, you can come to Yuri, you can, wherever you go, it's like there is a system now. It will end you into the right place. And as I talk, we're going to be given a good manufacturing facility, a laboratory where you can be given a corner to perfect your product. Because requirements, you may not have the requirements, like if they say you should have a tiled place, water, whatever, you may not have all that. I think this facility should be ready by December this year. Half of it is already finished, but it's a whole ecosystem under Dr. Msenero. In fact, it's unfortunate, still people are not understanding. You know, people anger, quarreling and what. But when you are sure of what you're doing, I don't think she has ever spent a sleepless nights over those. Because if somebody doesn't know and they say something, would you care to be annoyed when somebody doesn't know? So for us, we are her ambassadors out there. We talk, and I can see the dust is settling as people see what's coming out. Some of the products are there coming out. We are conducting trainings under Directorate of Industrial Training, people doing herbal. You feel you went in out of wish, you want to get a certificate. You come, you register, and then you get a course. It takes like 1 year. Like on the 30th August, we are graduating a 4th cluster. At the moment, I'm the chancellor at graduation. And I have a whole team of my lecturers. Some of them are there. So Kakati, that is about the new landscape. There is a new landscape. Don't get there and think, there are people who enjoy lamenting. Pananga, there are people who enjoy lamenting. Panangela, Uganda, And those who are out of the country sometimes enjoy abusing it because they left it. And they say, Uganda, Vichi. For me, I'm not part of it. You don't need school to be patriotic. No, it's your country. You cannot be born elsewhere. So, and if there are those gaps, what are you doing to ensure you're contributing something? Ask yourself that. I tell people that, for me, I even enjoy the potholes and the dust. I studied in UK for 6 years, but now, wherever you go, let it make you love your country even more. My country, So I talked of that pharmacovigilance. I informed you about it, and if you go online and check it out, International Society of Pharmacovigilance, I encourage you to go online, get it, check out for the herbal component, and you get in there. They even fund programs. There's a lot. So optimize national and international events that add value to us in the form of knowledge. I've told you the 22nd African Traditional Medicine Day. We're going to have it in Mackay University, public health auditorium, which can take all of you. We shall communicate more. I expect all the 125 members on Nature Hill platform to be there, and I've seen you. I'll check you out. When it comes to vetting proposals for funding, you will also find me there. So really, you utilize us, For me, one of my passion is to see Ugandans looking like their country, gifted by nature. You say, where are you from? I'm from Uganda, gifted by nature. You look gifted by nature. Don't look like you're going to fall off and faint. So the theme is going to be supporting the provision of quality and safe traditional medicine in Uganda. Now, as I end, there is a need to embrace diverse ways of sharing knowledge. How do I do it? I have a TikTok platform. My handle is #AgeWellUganda. If you want to age well, come, I give free consultation. Age well, that habit of being a positive thinker, thinking of value addition,